In today's YouTube video, we're taking a look at the top 5 best SMGs you guys need to be running. These are hands down the most meta guns in the entire game, so hope you enjoy. If you do, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe for more, and let's hop into this. So for the first gun we're starting off here today is going to be the Lockman sub. This is going to be a try and true gun that you guys need to be running. It is the #1 SMG in Warzone right now, but a first attachment is the L38 Falcon here for the increase in movement speed and aim down sight speed. Absolutely love running this attachment on this gun. It makes it feel so much more agile and mobile, which is what we ideally really want. The tune on that here is going to be a -0.21 and a +0.30. After that, we're going to go up in here. We're going to run the 1MW quickfire laser here for that increase in aim down sight speed. This is, once again, a great attachment here for making this gun feel faster at close range. It is seriously something you guys need to be using. And the tuning on that here is a -0.15 and a -39.06. Keep in mind, this is a relative number. You guys do not have to have this 100% right there. After that, we're going to go down here, run the 9mm frangible rounds for that increase in wounding effect. Pretty much temporarily disables their healing, which is something we really like. I personally enjoy that because I don't want people to be running away from me too much. You guys could also run the hollow points, which will disable their sprint for a short period of time, which can also help with tracking down people, but pretty much either or you're going to have good success with. The tune on that here is going to be a +0.50 and a -5.52. After that, we're going to go down in here and run the 40-round mag. So the 40-round mag here is something that I would suggest to be able to run. You can run the 50. It is going to be a little bit more personal preference at that point, whether you want to run the 50 or the 40. But pretty much either way, you can't go wrong. These are just going to be solid no matter what. And for our last attachment, we happen to have the Lockman TCG10 for that increase in recoil control. This is just an attachment we've ran on this so much over the course of all the different builds for the Lockman sub, but we're still sticking with this as there really isn't necessarily something better to run. We can't really go for a stock because those all just really suck nowadays. But anyways, the tune on this here is going to be a -0.29 and a -0.13. So that is my full build there for the Lockman sub. Now let's move on to our next gun. Next up, we're going to be taking a look here at the FSS Hurricane. This is another amazing gun here. I never really thought I'd be telling you guys about the Hurricane being a top tier gun, but it indeed is. Our first attachment on this is going to be the Spiral V3.5 flash hider for that increase in muzzle flash concealment and recoil steadiness. Beautiful attachment. Have had a lot of fun actually using this attachment in game. This is a very effective SMG right now, especially since, you know, the pistols and everything got nerfed. The X13 auto got nerfed. This is definitely a very effective gun right now. The tune on that here is actually going to be a -0.19 and a -0.20 or +0.23, my bad. After that, we're going to go up in here. We're going to run the FSS OLE-V lasers. So aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and sprint to fire speed. This is just what we like to be able to run. We had to run something that was a little bit different, like the 1MW, which is only ADS speed on the MP5, but on this gun, we can definitely get away with running this one. The tune on this here is actually going to be a -0.35 and all they maxed out there on the bottom for that aim down sight speed. Next up, we're going to run the over-pressured rounds. So this is going to pretty much increase that afflict the target with increased flinch. It just increases their overall flinch when you're shooting at them, making their shots pretty much a little bit more inaccurate when you're actually shooting at them and they're shooting back at you. It is something that I definitely recommend is a good option for this gun. The tune on that here is going to be a +0.59 and a +6.97. After that, we're going to go down here. We are going to be running the Phantom Grip. So this is going to increase that sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed, which is something that is very crucial for an SMG at close range. And the tune on that here is going to be -0.55 and -0.28. And then for our last attachment, we happen to have the Demo Quicksilver stock. So sprint speed, aim walking speed, crouch movement speed, and aim down sight speed. I mean, you really can't go wrong with this. This is just so good here for a variety of different reasons. The tune on that here is going to be a -2.84 and a -1.08. So that's my full build there for the FSS Hurricane. Hope you guys enjoy. Next up is my new and improved build here for the ISO 45, one of the other dominant contenders here with the Lockman sub. First attachment on this is actually going to be the 9 PTX trainer barrel. We used to run the EX Raptor V2 barrel quite a bit, but I ended up switching over to this. This has felt 10 times better and my gameplay has improved because of it, because of actually using this. So I'd recommend for you guys to actually try this one out. The tune on that here is actually going to be a -0.29 and a -0.27. Let's move on over here. We're going to be once again running the 1MW quickfire laser. So that increase in aim down sight speed is all it does. We don't necessarily need to run this one, which is pretty much what we were running on the Hurricane. I definitely think that this is indeed a better option, so I'd recommend for you guys to run that. The tune on that is going to be a -0.44 and a -32.90. And then we're going to go down here and run the 45 round drum. So this comes with 30 rounds stock. that is not a good thing to be able to have. So the 45 is just kind of our necessity. It's not like an if, and, or but. You have to be able to run this thing on this gun. Next up, we're gonna go for the EXP Shear. A lot of people go for the A30 Stout, but I really enjoy the EXP Shear. Sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed makes this gun faster, which obviously we really want. And the tune on that is going to be all the way maxed out for the aim down sight speed and all the way maxed out for sprint to fire speed. For our last attachment, though, we have the Demo Fade Tac Stock, aim walking speed and sprint speed, which is obviously great for close quarters engagements, and the tune on that is being -0.206 and -1.39. So that's my full build there in tuning for the ISO 45. Another gun that is incredibly good but a little bit slept on, the Vaznev 9K. This thing is great here for close quarters, and our first attachment on this is that Spiral V3.5 flash hider. Once again, you guys know what it does, so I don't have to explain this too much, but it is overall a really solid attachment. The tune on that is a -0.74 and a +0.17. Now let's move on over. We're going to be running the Schlager PEQ Box IV. Quite a name, but it does increase your aim down sight speed. It is basically the 1MW laser of this gun, so that's why we're going to be running it. The tune on that is a -0.32 and a -14.81. Now we're going to go down here, run the 45 round mag. As you guys all know, this comes with 30 round stock, so we're not going to be using that. We are going for the 45 as that is a necessity on this gun. Now we're going to go on back here to the rear grip section for the true tack grip, sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. You really can't complain about this one. I mean, this is just a great attachment, speeds the gun up, makes it more viable for close quarters. The tune on that is a -0.39, -0.15. And lastly, we're going to go back here for the O-Trezat stock for aim walking speed and sprint speed. So this is just a great attachment here and really just kind of helps round out this whole build we got for close quarters. The tune on that is a -0.13 and -1.39. And that concludes my Vaznev 9K build. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's a real fun gun to use. Lastly, we're gonna go for a super high mobility Vel 46 build. This is a lot of fun to actually be able to use, and I recommend you guys try it out. First thing in here is gonna be the X10 Razor Comp. Horizontal and vertical recoil control. Definitely need that because when you increase the mobility on anything in this game, you really mess the recoil. So this is gonna help us out quite significantly. The tune on that is gonna be a +0.36 and a +0.21. After that, we have the VLK Laser 7MW. We're using this over the 1MW quickfire laser just because it does give you that increase in aiming stability, which is something we desperately need for this gun here, just because it's going to really bounce around a little bit more so since it's so high mobility. So that increase in aiming stability will hopefully help stabilize the gun out. You guys can see it for yourself in game, but it is a very manageable gun, even in high mobility. The tune on that is going to be a -0.34 and a -24.68. Now we're going to go down here, and this is where you can kind of mess around with this a little bit because it comes with 40 round stock, which is not bad. I enjoy picking it up off the ground, but 50 rounds definitely feels like the happy medium, like the sweet spot for me. 60 feels like it's a little bit too slow. 50 feels like it's perfectly fine. That outnumbers pretty much every other SMG's magazine size, minus the PDSW. I think this is tying it, but overall, this is just a really great option right here. Now we're going to go on back here for the Schlager Soldier Grip. Sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. My bad, I'm having a little bit of a tongue twister right there, stumbling over my words. But the tune on that here is going to be a +0.74 and a +0.15. And then our last attachment on this is going to be the Vel A-568 collapse stock. Really giving this thing peak mobility, and it is overall amazing. Highly recommend you guys use this. So that has been my top 5 guns. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys all later.